everybody, Karyn Bryant here speaking with Adrian Yanez, who is fighting Jonathan Martinez at UFC Vegas 81. Adrian, I love talking with you. You know I love catching up with you. How's life? How's it been going?
Man, loving living life. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun, especially right now. The toddler stages are coming up with my son, so it's like there's a little bit more extra like stuff that like, he's getting his own personality. He's starting to do a lot of things, and yeah, it's fun watching him grow up. It's so fun. It's so fun. I had him at the gym last Friday, and he was in the cage just running around while I was warming up, and that was just awesome.
It's so great. And I remember when you were on the podcast with me and Angela way back and like you were in the hospital room and he was just born. It's so incredible. And I totally know what you mean. Like the toddler stage is hilarious to me and so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah, they get so they get so like uh they get so angry about the littlest things,
Yeah.
and I'm just if you just move it like just over a little bit, it won't be in your way, right? No,
Right.
it has to like yeah, I love it. It's the best right now.
It's so cute. And I have some really funny videos of like taking her, yeah, to the gym and playing in an octagon with the big exercise balls and just stuff like that. Like it is kind of great that you are getting the baby used to the gym, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember how old you were when you first went into a gym? Because it was probably pretty young, right?
Well, yeah, whenever I first walked into a gym, I went to this place called Bushy Bond, and that was like a karate gym. So I was like way back. I was like 5 years old, I think, at the
Yeah.
time, and did karate for a couple of years, and then after that, uh, we tried a boxing gym earlier on. Like I was looking at whenever I was like 8 or 9, but just didn't stick with it.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just at 15, that's whenever I actually started actually training like jujitsu and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
my first earliest memory is like taking one of those. I have the photo where like it's they make memes about it all the time where
Right.
it's like that hardcore karate stance and then the little faded picture in the back.
Yes, yes.
That's the one I got.
I love it. I love it because and because I think I even asked Wonder Boy about it, or he showed some somewhere one time, and he, because of course, has a million. But I know what you mean. It's the meat, and everybody's got and they're in the karate stance, and yeah, or they've got like the trophy, and then and it's the thing behind them. Oh God,
Yeah,
those are
that's the
so
one I have.
great.
That's the one I have. I'm like doing like some sidekick, and it's just me in the back, just like I'm not even looking at the camera, just me, just staring off into space. And as
Totally.
a kid, I'm like, what am I supposed to be like doing? I'm just like, I'm like look so. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, do you have a Panini card? Did you do you have a UFC card of you yet?
Yes, I do actually. I don't know if I have it on me right now. I have Ngannou's right here next to me, but
Nice. Because
yeah.
that had to feel pretty cool, like actually seeing yourself in a card.
Oh no, that was the coolest thing in the world. Like, man, I whenever I got the call saying I was gonna be out like on a Panini card, or like I was like, wait, what? Like it tripped me out. It tripped me out so much because I like growing up, we used to get the baseball cards all the time,
Yep.
playing. Like it was just like we were always like because back whenever it was like Craig. I was always looking for the Craig Biggio card, like back in
Nice.
the day. Even if it like because Houston Astros and all that back in the day, like Lance Berkman, all those guys. Like I was looking for like the Houston Astros like cards all the time. Never would get it, but my friends would always be the ones that'd be getting it. But I lucked out on those ones. But yeah,
Yeah.
it is trippy. I just actually just pulled one out. Like so, I have the rookie card right here.
That is
Oh wait,
so
I have the
cool.
little rookie card, and that's the coolest thing. Ah, yeah.
It's so cool. I know I joke, but I'm like, whenever I know they have, voices of the octagon, but it's like when they do the voices of the pre and post show, it's like, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that I do doesn't get as much attention as the other people, but I can only imagine what that must feel like. So that is awesome. And it's so well deserved. I mean, look at, for people who don't even realize, out of like six UFC fights, you have five bonuses right before, like
Yeah.
four performance of the night, one fight of the night. Like it's money. And I know like everybody, it didn't even take long when you got on the scene. Everyone's like, this guy's a future champ, this guy's a future champ. And I know that you stay humble, but at the same time, you are processing that. At the same time, now you're coming off the first time that you've lost in the UFC. Does that change anything in you? Did that, sometimes getting that first loss, like get it over with. Like it's a relief, you know what I mean? And get it done with and then move on. So, I mean, I'm curious how you're thinking about it now.
Oh yeah, no. So it actually made me like it made me bring myself back a little bit
Uh-huh.
and kind of just look overall because I kind of started getting away from what I was like really good at.
Okay.
And like my first fight in the contenders, like I was cool, calm and collected. I like
Mhm.
there was some stuff that didn't go my way, even though it was like it was super short. But within that time span, I still kept my cool. And that first UFC fight, still kept my cool, even though like some stuff didn't go my way very early on. Gustavo, the second fight, the Gustavo Lopez fight, I stayed technical. I stayed
Mhm.
on a game plan. Third fight, Randy. Of course, stuff did not go my way whatsoever in that first round, but I stayed cool, calm, and collected, and I was able
Yeah.
to like keep it up. You know, I was able to work my way back into the fight. And the David Grant fight was just like a
Yeah.
back and forth fight. But I stayed technical, never got out of like my character. And then
Yeah.
that fifth fight with Tony, that one was like I noticed I guess I started drinking my own Kool Aid a little bit too much, and I just didn't stop caring because I got the bombs. If I touch this guy, he's going to sleep, and I did. And
Yeah.
even though that fight was like super like it was a great win, but if
Mhm.
you look at it like a lot of people are like, oh no, you look technical. It's like, but I know what technical is. Like I see that, and I'm like, I was swinging wide. I was swinging for the fences. I was trying to put his lights out, and you know, there's a lot of mistakes that I did in that fight
Mhm.
that in that moment, like, I would correct. I'd be like, hey, look, take a step back. You got to get more technical. So
Yeah.
leading into that Rob Font fight, I was trying to be a lot more technical, but I still had that mindset when, like, fighting Kelly, if that makes sense. Like,
Yep.
as soon as I hit Rob with the solid shot, I was like, that first minute went super well for me. And then
Mhm.
after that, he worked his way back in. He's just a veteran of the game. He just worked back
Yeah.
in, hit this. So it was like, damn, like I started getting frustrated. I got so mad so quickly that I just started throwing heavy shots. And
Mhm.
you know, I got out of my character instead of like being technical. You know, I kind of like
Yeah.
my fight against Gustavo. I never let off of me just being technical. I got like I'm a tactician. I'm gonna go out there. If I'm the knockout will come if I'm staying technical. I'm
Yep.
not searching for it. And I searched for it in that Rob fight. Once I started learning I could like land on him, and then just
Mhm.
after after a while, like he just found his way, and it just boom, boom, boom. And I realized it way too late that
Yeah.
the tide of the fight shifted, and I was like, damn. And by the time I noticed it, he's on top punching me, and I'm just looking at the ref like, well, it is what it is, right?
Right.
It's a learning lesson, but no, it made me bring myself back and just be like, all right, cool. We have to stay technical. We have to stay on the game plan.
Yeah.
You have to go back. Like every coach that I'm working with right now is just more like you got away from what you were doing. You got away from like who you are. Pull
Mhm.
yourself back. Like the biggest comparison to this is like when Freddie Roach got a handle of Miguel Cotto. You know,
Mhm.
Miguel Cotto got away from his left hook, and Freddie Roach is like, "You're still a phenomenal boxer. There's not much I can teach you. It's like
Yeah.
you just have to move back and start doing what you used to do. It's like, hey, that left hook was phenomenal. You got away from it, and look what happened whenever he got back into it. He started going on the win streak right after
Mhm.
that. So yeah, same concept here. You know, it's just me getting back to who I was and who I am, and mentally stay clear.
Well, and you bring up so many great things. It's funny because I think I was at a Kodo workout at Wildcard one time. So now, if so, I'm going to have to put that link up. But yeah, that makes so much sense. And to kind of unpack a few of the things you said, I worked that show when you fought Tony. That was such a heightened time and space like in that arena and just everything that was going on. If people don't remember that, the context that Tony had said some things in the corner of his girlfriend Angela, there was this racist overtones, there was a lot of things, and Tony Kelly embraced that when he was walking out, flipping everybody off. So the whole thing was heightened, and everybody that wasn't on Tony's side wanted you to knock him out. So for you to get away from yourself in that instance, I think is understandable. Like everybody wanted that moment, you know. But that makes a lot of sense. Like you said, getting back to the basics. Somebody like Rob Font is a veteran who can exploit anybody's holes, and he's gonna see if you're over
Yeah.
swinging and this and that. He's gonna see it. He's gonna take advantage of that. So great lesson to learn, and it doesn't. I don't feel like it really causes any bumps in the road for you anyway. He's such a veteran, and if anything, it's a reset button when you can still afford to hit the reset button.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah.
I do not like it's the weirdest thing, like, because everybody's like, no, it's not a loss, it's a lesson, and I'm like, it still hurts,
Yeah.
but I do see what they say is like,
Yeah.
oh, the lesson here is like, I got away from myself. I got to get more. I got to get back and stay on my technical ways, because that first minute I was on it. I
Mm-hmm.
stayed on it. I stayed in the position what I need to do. But as soon as I landed, I treated it like the Tony Kelly fight. I was like, as soon as I landed, I was like, I'm finishing this guy. And I
Yeah.
drank my Kool-Aid a little bit too much on that Kelly fight. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So staying technical is what I'm trying to do this one.
Nice. And was it Dr. Pepper flavored Kool-Aid, or was it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm on that Dr. Pepper Zero right now. So it's not, I don't got the sugars, but still wonderful right now.
I love it. I know what you mean. And so with this matchup, though, obviously, we all always talk about how deep the bantamweight division is. He's coming off the win over Nurmagomedov. So what do you sort of think is the most dangerous thing? I mean, because he also has beaten Cub Swanson. I mean, he's got some nice wins under his belt, and he's a guy, who quietly maybe making a run, and everybody, like, maybe people aren't paying as much attention, but Jonathan is definitely dangerous.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes. He's very, very dangerous. He just beat Nurmagomedov, and then he poses a lot of problems.
Yeah.
He's very kick heavy. Like, he's demolished people's legs and body. I was actually talking to Cub, uh, like, when my training partner fought in the Contender Series, so I was able to run into Cub, and he was telling us like, man, he hit me to the body. I just couldn't recover after that. And I was like, damn. I was like, that's something I gotta take into account. He's heavy. He's a heavy, heavy kicker, devastating kicker. So, had to make my rounds with guys who were kicking this whole entire camp. So it sucks, but
That sucks.
it is what it is. It's the fight game. But yeah, he's been making a run. He's very quiet, man. But I will say he's a very cool guy, in and out the cage. So, yeah, because I ran into him in the International Fight Weekend. We
Yeah.
both walked away. We're like, oh man, I really like you. You're a cool guy. And I was like, yeah. So now we're both cool going into a fight to fight each other. So
Right.
it's gonna be a fun one. I think it's gonna be a fun one for the fans. It sucks that, like, I had to go out there and beat up Jonathan Martinez. But damn, because I really like the guy. We even showed each other pictures of each other's kids. Like, he showed me a picture of his kids in training, and I showed him a picture of
Yeah.
my kid. I was like, this part sucks. Like, I'm gonna get the win, but it's gonna suck. Because I'm
Right.
just like, God damn it.
That's tough. But I mean, but look, as long as as long as you guys know, you put the friendship aside when the octagon door closes, right? And you just throw down. And it is the type of thing where if you guys both have that great spirit, you know what I mean? I feel like there's no way
Yeah.
we're going to be, no way we're going to be disappointed. But so what do you think now though, too? Obviously at the top of the division, there's new talent up there with Sugar Sean. Does that, when you were watching the title fight and stuff, not necessarily that you have to tell us if you had a dog in the fight, but just in general, what does that mean to you to have a little bit of movement at the top of the division?
The movement, just overall for the division, it kind of got shooken up, because it was
Yeah.
kind of like log jammed a little bit just because of the whole Marab and Aljo thing. They,
Yeah.
like, Marab was number one, Aljo was a champ. I love the dynamic of their friendship. They were just like, they're not gonna let anything fold or break and be like, nah, like, it's just like, I love that. Like, I love like how like loyal they are to each other. But the fact that there's movement now, and like Sean out there getting the win, it sucks because I really like Aljo. I was really hoping he would get that win. And while I
Yeah.
was watching that fight, there were some things I was looking at. I was like, man, I was like, I was doing the UFC Twitch stream with Jens Pulver, and
Nice.
in that moment, like in that second round, I was like, "Ooh, I don't like." I couldn't remember if I said it out loud. I had to go back and watch it, but I was just like, "I don't like this. I don't like this," because I'm a striker. Like, I'm
Yeah.
a striker through and through, and I saw some things that I know Sean was going to be able to capitalize on. And there's like, the lunging in, like, kind of the head a little bit higher than what I like on Aljo's side coming in. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. Something's gonna happen soon. And then next, it happens. I'm like, damn it. Sucks because I like Aljo. But that does, with that, and with that happening, kind of kind of opens up the division for like
Yeah.
new matchups, new things coming in. Because you know, like it was just going to be a logjam at the top if Aljo stayed champ, or if he
Yeah.
didn't move up to fight Volkanovski or like some of those guys at 45, and let Marab get a shot too. So
Mhm.
it kind of opens it up, you know. So it's good for the division, but you know, watching a guy that you like and you appreciate, you know, lose, you know, sucks.
Yeah, it's tough. And I do wonder how, like, I wonder how long Sean can stay at the top now, too. Like, that's the thing that's a little trickier is that in ways I think he's more beatable than Aljo in certain ways, right? And so you do kind of wonder, okay, well, what happens if Sandhagen gets in there, or does Marab get a shot now, and this and that? And I think that potentially now we could get even more turnover. And that's
Oh
not
yeah.
anything against Sean. That's speaking to how good everybody else is, like nipping at the heels already.
Oh no, I agree. I agree with you. Like it as from what it looks from the outside looking in, Sean is really one dimensional, and
Hmm.
that's for a reason. He likes knocking people out,
Yeah.
like striking with guys. He's not gonna look to wrestle. He's not gonna look to out jiu-jitsu anybody. He's a striker through and
Yeah.
through. So like everybody questions his like him as an MMA fighter just in general. Everybody knows he's an MMA striker, but just
Right.
the fighter in general, like he might be an A+ striker, but as an overall MMA fighter, he might be B+, B-,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Not sure because again, the skills of like in his ground game and his wrestling is still questionable.
Hmm.
Like you see like someone like Sandhagen, who's a really
Yeah.
high level striker, but then also you kind of see how he was able to do with Cheeto and then Rob
Yep.
out grapple all these guys, you know, and be able to implement a whole lot of MMA with the wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and the striking, put it all together very well. So there's like that kind of poses a big problem for someone like Sean. And then
Yeah.
on top of like that, you got Marab, very pace heavy, and then also is able to land 40 takedowns in a fight in a whole fight, you know, and keep that pressure up the whole entire time. So that does cause a lot of problems. And honestly, like just with how stacked the top 5, the top 10, the top 15,
Yeah.
again, like I go back to it and I will always say I feel like bantamweight's the only division I feel like a top 25 would be suffice just so like because the 35 division is just so stacked so deep. Like there's
Amazing.
people just ranked outside the top 15 that deserve a number next to their name because man,
Totally.
it's just nothing but a row of killers, man. Look at someone like Miles Johns who fought like I think
Yep.
last weekend. He looked the phenomenal fighter. And then you got someone like Javid Bashara, a guy who should have a number next to his name as well
Yep.
too. There's a lot of guys like John Castaneda, Damone Blackshit. There's a lot of guys just outside the top 15 that are like really phenomenal.
Yeah.
So yeah, like this division is stacked. It's like I don't know any other division in the UFC that has that problem, you know,
Hmm.
that has that like problem avidly, you know.
Yeah.
People are fighting to get into the top 15, and when you get a number next to your name, you know you absolutely earned it in the 35 division.
Oh no, 100%. I mean, yeah, like you even mentioned, Blackshear. He's got one of three twisters, right, and this and that. It's like meanwhile, no disrespect, but meanwhile, over at light heavyweight, like Adrian, you could walk into light heavyweight right now and get ranked. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like there's just not as many bodies. You could roll up in there, gain a few pounds, go and tear up 205.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be drinking nothing but Dr. Peppers for my lead up for
Totally.
a light heavyweight debut. So I'll be there. I'll make it. You know.
I love it. I love it. But you're right. It's like it's just an embarrassment of riches at 35. So it is awesome. I know, and it's like we it's like you look at you and you go future champ. At least it's like I know you have time, right? Because
Mhm.
I think Corey Sandhagen is a future champ. I think Marab is a future champ. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like a lot of these guys are going to get a chance. You're still nice and young. You're going to work your way up there, and it's like it's so interesting to me to like wonder who's going to be the champ when you get to fight for the title. Like it's interesting to think about that.
Oh yeah, like that's the crazy part about this division. Like you don't know who's gonna be the top. Like
Right.
that's what makes the guys who hold like guys who dominate at the top of the division for a long time, like that
Hmm.
what makes them special, especially against a stacked division. Like man, like when Kamaru Usman was running the 170 and he was just running through a lot of these guys, like
Yeah.
that's super respectable. I want to be a dominant champ, like inside of like a weight class full of killers, you know. And I feel like at 35, you know, if you're the champ there, you know, you're the champ of the in like in murderer's row, you know, you're
Totally.
the top dog. So yeah, like it just puts that more like that more of a stamp on you being a champ, you know. So you know, respect. This 35 division is not, it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely going to be a fun one to watch.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you in action against Jonathan. So we're going to be looking for a more measured, a more technical. It's a more technical brawl then, right? A more technical striking event here.
Oh yes, ma'am. I'm gonna definitely be more technical. I'm definitely, because look, I can't go in there and just do my Houston style swing and bang. You know, I can't do it all the time. It has to be a measured approach, you know, or I really don't have to like the guy, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, but more measured approach. I'm a swing and bang, but in a technical style.
I love it. I love it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So thank you so much for joining me. Best to you and the little toddler and the family. And yeah, we'll see you in Vegas next week.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the platform.